I'm going to start with Thanksgiving films. I couldn't. This is a weird one because I just don't know like movies that are so specifically associated with Thanksgiving. But there's only a few, and so I figured I would put some of these out here. So we have planes, trains, and automobiles, the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and then Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. And I'll let whoever wants to go first.
It's all you, KB.
Okay, this is really weird because I'm not currently in Kansas City. I'm at my best friend down in Florida. So I left my almost sub-temperature degrees home to come to like 75 and poolside. So I was just telling him I was going to bring two movies. I was going to bring Eli Roth Thanksgiving and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because they are Thanksgiving movies. But then you throw in nostalgia with Charlie Brown. Ooh, you gotta own Charlie Brown or watch it every year.
I really liked Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
I haven't seen it yet. I have it. That's what I'm saying. I have the 4K of it, and I was gonna bring that and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a classic. So I will, if I'm keeping Charlie Brown, I'm gonna rent Planes, Trains, and since I haven't seen it, I could say trash Eli Roth's Thanksgiving because I haven't seen it, so it's neither here nor there for me.
I know nothing about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, you'll love it. It's really great.
Great comedy for the holiday. That's all I'll say.
I guess I'll rent that one.
Okay.
Charlie Brown lives up here rent free, so I can trash it. It'll exist forever.
Interesting approach.
And then I guess I'll keep. I mean, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving is not like an objectively good movie. It's just fun, so I'll keep it.
Okay.
Very cool. And there's never right or wrong answers. This is all preference, which is why it's very fascinating to hear. This might be a hot take, but I think out of all of the Charlie Brown holiday specials, the Halloween one and the Christmas one, I feel like it's the weakest. And not a ton happens in it. So I would probably trash it. I know that's terrible, but I love the Christmas one and I love the Halloween one so much more. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I would probably, I guess, own that one. But I love, so it's tough too because Thanksgiving is a horror movie, but like there's such great commentary on the craziness of what Black Friday used to be before we kind of transitioned a lot of that to online shopping, and I think that's such a great setting, an interesting setting to make a slasher film. So yeah, I guess I'll rent Thanksgiving because I'm not going to watch it, all the time, but I still really enjoyed it. And then Planes, Trains, and Automobiles I would own. So these are three Disney films since Moana is coming out, but these are three Disney films that are kind of like not the typical Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. And they all kind of came out around this similar era. We have Great Mouse Detective, Rescuers Down Under, and Robin Hood.
You first this time.
I'll easily keep on Rescuers Down Under. I love that sweet movie. And it's just like, it's nostalgic for me. I have friends who adore it. And so like, we'll watch that movie a lot together. I've not seen Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, classic. You should check it out.
But I'm going to trash Robin Hood. Hot take. I did not like that movie as a kid. My aunt was obsessed and would watch it all the time, and it annoyed the shit out of me. So I'm going to trash Robin Hood and rent Great Mouse Detective.
And that would be my exact same order too. Rescuers Down Under, I have fond memories of that. Even when my kids were growing up and the clamshell VHS tapes and all that, we always had, actually, I think we had all three, but I remember watching Down Under with them a lot. I would rent Great Mouse Detective, and there's enough versions of Robin Hood probably in my collection alone, from Errol Flynn and on. So if I don't have the Disney one, I'm good. I'm good.
That's a great point. I think it's interesting if you watch Robin Hood. It's such I think it was the 60s it came out, maybe 70s, but it feels of that era like so specifically. It's like a little time capsule. And if I don't know if you guys remember the hamster dance, but it was like do 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 do
Yes.
do do. Okay, so that was like a digital like viral moment that happened in like I don't know. This was like 20 years ago, maybe. But that was actually a song from the Robin Hood movie. When I rewatched Robin Hood recently, a couple years ago, I was like, oh my God, that's the hamster dance song. And they just took that song from this old Disney movie and it became a thing. I would agree with all of you. And I think I would do exactly the same thing. And it is funny that Robin Hood is like the girls joke that was like their first crush when they were like 6 when they watched it because he's like such a sleek fox and he's got this British accent and like very funny. But I totally agree with you guys on that. Okay, since Gladiator is out, and I know Brittany, you haven't seen Gladiator, that is okay. That does not play any weight into your decision. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't play it. We have Blade Runner, Alien, and Gladiator.
Ridley Scott, Ridley Scott, Ridley Scott. Okay.
Right.
79 Alien classic. I am so sick. I will put that on and start to fall asleep and set the timer on my TV to just turn off. So you got to keep Alien. Blade Runner, I am a fan of. There's actually, I'm a physical media collector, and there's a suitcase that is supposed to be like the whole set with all the different versions on it. I'm still trying to find it for a price where I could also pay my mortgage. So, but I know it well enough that I have to rent it, if not keep it. So, own Alien, rent Blade Runner, and Gladiator. It's good, but between the three, that's the one that got to go.
I think I'd agree. I love Alien. It's also like just one of my favorite horrors. Such a badass female character too, done right. And Blade Runner, I've also not seen. So I initially, before doing like the cinematic counseling, tried to do a little like late to culture thing. So I grew up super religious and wasn't allowed to watch a lot of things. And so I'm really late to a lot of like classic movies and I'm watching a lot of them for the first time. Which is fine because the people in my life are like getting to experience it for the first time again alongside me.
So cool.
Yeah.
I want to do that with you too. I love introducing movies to people, as Tracy knows.
Yeah.
So
well, I'll
would
just
be
do
awesome.
like a Discord movie night and watch some classics and it'll be my first time. It'll be great. So yeah, I guess rent Blade Runner because it's another one I have to see. And yeah, sorry, Gladiator. Just knock that one right out.
I'm going to agree. I think I recently watched Gladiator to prepare for Gladiator 2, and I really enjoyed it. I totally get why it was a huge Oscar movie and things like that. But I feel like out of these three, that's the one I would have to trash. So, okay, since we are discussing Wicked, I thought I would do 3 musical movies: Chicago, The Sound of Music, and Grease. And I know they're all very different. So.
This is brutal. This might be my most painful. Oh my goodness. I'm going to. So The Sound of Music, I grew up in Vermont, and that's where the Von Trapps fled to.
Yeah.
I grew up right near Stowe, where the Von Trapp Lodge is, and grew up. Our local theater did The Sound of Music pretty much every year. And the Von Trapps, like the grandchildren and great-grandchildren, would be in the play or they'd speak beforehand. And that is near and dear to my heart. But I also know it so well that I'm like, I could probably trash it and still like have it just on repeat up here again. So I'm going to keep Chicago. because I love it so much. Rent, Grease, because I overwatched the shit out of that. I don't know how I was allowed to watch Grease and not so many other things.
It's so adult, and I'm like, we're all like 9 and 10-year-olds, like obsessed with it, and then you see it like later on in life, you're like, wow, those lyrics
I
are
am
something else.
shocked I was allowed to watch that movie.
Same thing with Dirty Dancing. When you watch it and you're older, you're like, really?
Yeah, my mom. So my parents had me really young, and my mom, Dirty Dancing was like the movie she snuck as a kid, like that she wasn't allowed to watch, but she would watch all the time anyway. And so Grease and Dirty Dancing were like, she's like, it's fine. I know you shouldn't watch these, but like watch them anyway. So fond memories of Grease, and then trash, unfortunately, Sound of Music, despite how much I love it.
I'm gonna flip around your top two. So I'm going to show my age. I was 8 when Grease came out. So also another big film for both my wife and I growing up. So it came with the house. So I can't take it out the house. So I have to own Grease. I've gone from VHS to DVD all the way up to 4K. So I have to own Grease. It's like I have to breathe. I have to own Grease. So I'll rent Chicago. And I mean, Sound of Music used to come on TV twice a year, so I've seen it enough times in my lifetime that I could trash that one, but that's still painful. I'll just sing it a lot. I'll sing different things. So long, farewell, Sound of Music.
Yeah, I think it's going to pain me to say this, but I'm going to probably do exactly what Brittany chose. But it's so tough with these, and I love. I think when I rewatched The Sound of Music as an adult, like I don't know, it might have been 10 years ago. I had seen it so many times as a kid, but then when you watch that movie as an adult, you were like, this is one of the most like powerful films ever made, and it's so well done. And like it's so serious and heavy, and I think when you're a kid watching it, you don't really pick up on the heaviness and the weight of what that family is going through towards the end of the movie. So yeah, all great choices there. Okay, because of Wicked, these are 3 movies that are Wizard of Oz related that don't include Wicked. So we have the original Wizard of Oz, we have the crazy nightmare-fueled 80s Return to Oz, and then we have the one that Disney put out, which is I believe it was Disney, the Oz the Great and Powerful. That was the one with James Franco. What are your thoughts?
I feel like the Wiz is missing.
That's true. I wasn't. I should have done that. I'm sorry. The Wiz is so good. I don't even know
that would
why.
have made it even harder. So this is perfect.
Okay.
You could go, KB. It's all you.
It's in order.
Same.
I have to own Wizard of Oz. Otherwise, I have to file for divorce. Return to Oz is creepy enough that I'll rent it, but I don't need that juju in my house. So I'll rent that. And Oz the Great and Powerful, you could take that out with the trash because between the 3, no. But if you had the Wiz in there instead of Great and Powerful, that would make it a little harder. Because especially with Quincy Jones just passing, that would make it even harder. So, no.
I made these like 5 minutes before we went on, and I
think all good.
I think because The Wiz is a musical too, and like we just saw Wicked. I should have made the I should have put it on here. So that would have been the 4th option, I guess.
I go exactly the same. I've been in the Wizard of Oz, the musical, like 3 times. And near and dear to my heart. I grew up watching it. Again, like wild that I could watch that because there were so many things that they were like, no, witchcraft. But I watched that one. Rent, Return to Oz, trash Oz the Great and Powerful. I was also in The Wiz. My all-white high school seemed to think that was a good idea. So
that makes me happy. That makes me happy to know that.
Yep.
Somewhere there's a Wonder Bread version of the Wiz taking place. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
in very rural Vermont. Just
Oh my goodness.
living large.
That is so funny.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree collectively with you guys on this for sure. Definitely Wizard of Oz. Return to Oz is, I think, like Max's like favorite, which is so funny to me because it's so freaky.
love
But yeah, and then Trash Oz the Great and Powerful. And then this is a consistent one I've been putting out because no one has seen these yet. They are coming out. These are all Marvel films, and no one knows what the direction is going to be like moving forward. And like, there's so much like, oh, can Marvel really come back? Deadpool Wolverine was obviously a very successful movie, but it was also based on kind of critiquing what Marvel has done recently and a lot of cameos and things like that. So if we are seriously moving forward in the MCU, these are the next three that we are getting. So, you know.
I can easily start with this.
Okay.
Comic book nerd growing up, I am so excited for Fantastic Four. Give that to me tomorrow, now. Once we finish with this live stream, I want to go see it immediately. Brave New World, because it's Captain America related, I'm in, but I could probably rent it. And Thunderbolts, there's too much upheaval, and the characters are all the people that you didn't like in previous shows and movies.
That's a good point.
And they just threw them together like they're trying to make some gumbo. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So trash that. Trash it before it comes out. But I'm ready to see Fantastic Four. And if any of the three ends up being the savior for the MCU and Marvel Entertainment on film, it'll be Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I totally agree. What was that trash Marvel movie with Angelina Jolie?
Oh, the
Eternals.
Eternals.
Yeah, that's what Thunderbolts feels like to me.
Mm.
Like that all over again. But yeah, exact same order. Fantastic Four, keep Rent Brave New World. I want it to be good, but don't have a ton of hope. And then fully trash Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go along and say that as well. And Fantastic Four is definitely the one I consistently have been feeling the most optimistic for. I love that they're doing that like Jetson-y type of 60s space age vibe. And I think that like honestly, it would be refreshing to see that. And if you look at their production design for any of their shows, like Loki, or even like Agatha, or like some of the other ones, they like WandaVision, the production design has always never been a problem to me for those types of like genre types of things. And I feel like Fantastic Four, if they have the same production design crew that has been doing these movies or TV shows, like even something similar, like I think it'll look awesome.